Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Went to visit the property this morning and hopes are high, but as with many things, hopes can be dashed. The lady that showed me round is the agent that will be dealing with the property. So when we sort of said cheerio and thanks for showing me round, all that sort of stuff, she said, if you can send the details that I've asked through directly to me, and gave me her personal email address at the business. Yeah, so I've talked to the person who's dealing with the property. That's the first time that's happened. Because normally the people that have been showing me round are just people who show people round, like that's their bit. You know, they open the door and go, this is the kitchen. Yeah, cooker, cupboards, fridge, freezer, yeah, I can work that out. And then they open another door and go, and this is the bathroom. I say, yeah, bath, toilet, basin, I could probably work that out. So I am being facetious, but yeah, it does make me laugh. Here is the kitchen. Well, yes. Anyway, so I dealt with the person. So explaining my circumstances, the need for the conservatory, she showed quite an interest in the fact that I had a YouTube channel. First thing she said is, what's it about? And I said, well, I grow orchids, which is why I need, she said, she interrupted me and said, that's why you need the conservatory then. So yes, good. And she said, how many subscribers have you got then? Like, you know, because I presume it's like a hobby channel, is it? I said, well, yeah, basically. I said 12,000. And you could see like, oh. I think she thought I was going to say like 15 or something. Not that there's anything wrong with only having 15. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Once I only had 15 and was grateful for them. But yeah, so I've spoken to the actual person and she seemed to think that my circumstances won't be held against me. The fact that I do have the funds, not necessarily the income from employment, which is what most of them are looking for. So it's looking good. And having seen the property, I've said, right, I basically took the pen out of my pocket and I looked at her clipboard and I said, where do I sign? She said, well, if you're interested, make sure you get an email to me, preferably by Monday morning. And we're doing 15-minute viewings today. Normally with agents, today really means about 10 o'clock in the morning till about 12:30, and then they go home. And I was 10 o'clock, so first one, and I was the first one. So yeah, so they could be seeing a dozen people, I don't know. And then she said, what we do is we pick the ones which we think are most suitable, given that we know the landlord and have been dealing with the landlord for the last 20 years. We know what sort of thing she's interested in. We will contact her for her to make the final choice. So that's where it's been left, basically. So I've got to send an email and, attach a bank statement with some notation on it, so, showing, what type of income is coming in and, what the outgoings are. At the moment, they'll be different if you move house. And why I'm pointing at this is to show you that I've done nothing with these plants. Absolutely nothing. This was the last kitchen session where all the plants were pulled out of the pots, all the cattleya types. But what I did do was give them all a really good spray with the hydrogen peroxide and rinse them off. Now I've left them here to dry off a bit. Prior to putting them in their pots, what's the time now? Yeah, that's not going to get done today. It's 4:15 now. I'm not messing about with this late in the day. Otherwise my tea will be late again. Basically, I'm going to give them a soak in a solution of the seaweed extract and some CalMag, and just get some of that into the base of the plants where there are roots that can soak that up. Obviously, no roots, not much is going to go in, but it gives an option for some sort of hormones that are supposedly good for rooting properties. And in addition, the CalMag will put the calcium at least will be putting some strength back into these. Give them a bit of rigidity, and calcium is a major factor in cell growth. So if these are going to do any growing, which includes roots, they need the calcium. So we don't want them, because the trouble is with calcium being non-mobile, what calcium is in these plants is fixed where it is now. So to get them to grow some new roots or some new leaves, they need some new calcium put into them, or they're going to be weak. So that's done. Why I'm pointing at this is Lynn brought this along. This is, I believe, exactly the same as the stuff I bought online, and this was $2.99 in the pet shop, in the local pet shop. Now, I paid a lot more than that for it. And then, last but not least, because I'm not dragging this one out, this is what I got last night. So, it's funny actually, this cup, I think I've had this cup 4 times now. It's the Oncidium cup. And they've had to get a new base for it because they ran out of places to engrave. It was circular before, and the names were in columns. So it had a hell of a history with it, this cup. That history's lost now because they've got to do a new base. And yeah, I mean, I'm in good company there. Brian Gould, member of both societies, grows really good plants. You've got Sally Mill there. And then you've got Jeff Hands, the guy who's died back at Christmas time, that, you know, had the Dendrobium collection. And now my name added to the bottom. But as I said, in the historical base that used to be there, that was all tarnished and dented, I think I was on there about 4 times. It's just that I do have a number of Oncidiums, and there is often some in flower at the time, you know, this show comes up. And then if you get a cup, you get a certificate to go with it, of course. So anyway, so I just thought I'd show you that. So I've got some silverware to keep clean and dust. I'd like to find a dust-proof drawer and just put it in there, and then I can get it out and take it back when, you know, when they need it back for next year. The Bournemouth Orchid Society are quite, well, I suppose their funds are high. They've actually got 2 complete sets of silverware for the 2 shows. So they've got 1 set of cups and shields and plaques and stuff for the spring show, and another complete separate set for the autumn show. So that if you get a cup at one of the shows, you get to keep it for a year, which is good stuff. So I got that on the mantelpiece for a year. Anyway, I'm not going to hear anything about the property till later next week, because obviously they're going to have to get all the stuff in from the people who viewed today. They've got to go through that all and then contact the landlord and deal with that before they can let people know. So I would say at the earliest it's going to be the mid to the end of next week. So but it does sound like an agent that will at least let me know, so we shall see. And yeah, I mean, I do my normal Sunday chat tomorrow, but things that have been put off over previous days are starting to build up. And part of that is watering my mounts. That has to be done tomorrow. That won't be the Sunday chat. We've done that recently. We won't do that, you know, so close together. And I haven't got a subject for tomorrow's Sunday chat, but, you know, one always seems to pop up. And we'll get that done tomorrow. And then, as I've said, you know, next week the videos are going to be a bit thin. I've got Hannah here for 3 days. I've got a funeral. There's stuff to do, you know. So, as I say, there could well be a 3 or even 4 day. Well, it'll only be a 3-day break at the most, because Hannah goes back Wednesday evening, which means I'm, to a degree, back to some sort of normality on the Thursday. So we'd at least get one done by then. So. Oh, thanks for dropping by and all that stuff, and yeah, I'll think about getting some tea on soon, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, and I forgot to say, the conservatory at the place I looked at today is bigger than this one. Not a lot, but it is bigger. And it definitely faces north and is unlikely to get much sun at all, if any, probably some early morning sun, which means I can probably live without shading the whole year. What a pleasure that's going to be. So it means while I'm in there busying with my orchids, I can see out. I can see the garden. Anyway, I just thought I sort of that's it's quite an important factor, because some of the other places I've looked at, although I haven't been there, the conservatory's been quite small, you know, and faces south, so it would always be hard work. And the smaller an airspace is, the harder it is to keep cool or keep, you know, the temperature fluctuations via sun through the glass are much more dramatic the smaller the place is. That's just a fact of life. So anyway, yeah, if I get it, it'll have a nice big, it's got a flagstone floor, tiled floor, so I don't have to worry about a few drips here and there. Lovely big panes of glass, and a polycarbonate roof, and it's all double glazed. which means it's virtually sealed, which means we shouldn't get wildlife coming in the cracks. Anyway, see you next time. Bye for now. I haven't got it yet. That's the hard bit, is you build your hopes up for something like that, you know, and then you don't get it and you sort of think, "Ugh." But I can only go for it, can't I? I either get it or I don't. If I don't, you just move on and look for another one. So be it.